Hey, this is Idea Coaches, a coach he's wrong. Today we're going to be doing a little bit more of a serious topic. Now, I had an argument with a good friend of mine about faith versus karma. And I've always felt that faith is far stronger than what karma could ever be. Now, just to keep my thoughts in order, I will be looking at my notes here that I have on my laptop. Let me get off and just say something straight up. Faith and karma affect only one type of the two types of people that live on the earth today, and that's philosophers and Vikings. Now, see, philosophers believe in the long term and that our actions, influences, and interbehavior, how we feel inside, are all being recorded by some sort of accountant in the cosmos who keeps track of everything in one way or another. Vikings, who are in an uninsulting way, heathenistic, are more focused about today. However, a lot of philosophers look up to Vikings because of their decisiveness. That's why you see in the media people like, contemporary people like Charlie Sheen, Snooki, a few years back, it probably been Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, some of the 90s, some were like, Left Eye from TLC, the member who passed away. That's why they're the center of attention for the erratic behavior. It's not so much we're looking at them because they're crazy. We're looking at them sometimes in a way where we wish we were that decisive. We wish we were that ballsy. We may not want the exact results of what they get or have the same social stigma that they have or had, but in a way there is something that you can admire about someone who makes, just bold decisions, within their actions. In a lot of ways, Vikings want to be philosophers as well, because everyone knows that time is limited on the face of Earth, and they're, in the back of people's minds who maybe through an emotional state or religious belief feel that, there's going to be something that happens once we pass away. But sometimes philosophers and Vikings end up having the same mentality at the same time. See, we can switch. You see what I'm saying? And just think about like a couple that, on the outside looks okay, but within closed doors there's a lot of infidelity. And it's the confusion of whether or not you're a Viking or a philosopher that causes the most stress. The philosopher side says, well, the social status means that I should be married and I should only be with one partner for the rest of my life. The Viking side says, well, this person has done me wrong, or I'm really, really horny right now and no one's going to know. And that's what ends up having contradictions within ourselves and, getting us stressed out about a number of things that could be, very life altering. But let me get back to the faith and karma argument and why my view that faith will always be stronger than karma. See, karma is doing good things in the belief that at some point in the future, whether it be in this lifetime, next week, a few hours from now, that you're going to get something in return. It's almost like you're trying to harness good luck and put it lightning in a bottle in some ways. In Indian cultures, they feel that, ultimately if you do enough good, you don't come back physically and you become one with the universal soul, which we believe today is called God. Either way, it's still doing something for something in return. The problem with karma is not the thought behind it, it's people's, nature. Most people cannot envision farther than what their arms can reach. Okay, let's just get that shit straight. All right. So what you get is people doing good things so that they will get good karma or luck for a particular thing at a particular point in time, in the particular manner in which they want it. It is, as like I said before, as if we can mentally harness good fortune somehow. And not only that, have all the good fortune happen at one time in some sort of perfect blossom of great events that's going to propel us into greatness. Now, maybe you've seen the movie The Last Samurai, and if you haven't, let me run it down real quick. Some drunk white guy goes to Japan and doesn't know the language or the culture or how to fight with the sword that well, and ends up being the last samurai, the greatest of all of them for some odd reason. But within the movie, there is an actor, I forgot what his acting name, but his real name is Ken Watanabe, and he talks about the perfect blossom, the perfect cherry blossom, how very few people get to see it in their entire lifetime. You can live to be 80 years old and never see a perfect blossom. And that's what people who do things just based off karma, that you're somehow, you're putting in, money in an ATM machine and going to take it out at the ATM machine at your own convenience. You know what I mean? It's like they'll say, okay, well, I want all the good things to happen right now because 2 weeks ago, 4 years ago, I did something great and I deserve it. It has that selfish mentality to it, and that's really one of my biggest problems with how karma works out. So, what really ends up happening is that when people do good things, so others can see them, oh, look at me, I'm so great. It's as if they're trying to gain experience points, like you're in a motherfucking video game or some shit. And more oftentimes than not, people who do the good things for a reward don't get what they want, or they get what they want but not when they want it, or they get what they want when they want it but not the way that they wanted it. So faith has the advantage in the sense that people don't walk around thinking that their good deeds are going to be rewarded in some sort of timely manner, unlike what karma does. Now, I want to tell you a little personal story about myself, is that 10 years ago, I was on the bus and there was some man harassing a young lady. When I say young lady, she was older than me. I was 20, maybe 19 at the time. Big guy, bigger than me. And he was harassing some lady. The lady ran off the bus. He ran after her. And the bus started pulling off, and then I said to the bus driver, someone's got to stop this guy. This is really going to happen. They run off in some alleyway into a neighborhood that I'm very familiar with. I go in and I pretty much beat the guy up. This is back in 2002. I saved the girl from being raped because his hands were on her chest. She thanks me. Now, in my mind, this was a Thursday night, and I remember this so clearly because I'm thinking, Thursday Night SmackDown, a pro wrestling program, is about to come on, and I don't want to miss Rey Mysterio versus Tajiri. And if this bitch makes me fucking late, I'm gonna watch that match at her house. I was very, very, very into pro wrestling at the time. But the thing is this: 2002 was a terrible year for me. About 2 or 3 weeks later from that point, the woman that I was seeing decided she didn't want to see me anymore. I was lifting weights, trying to get my body bigger so I could later on become a professional wrestler, what I ended up doing in 2006. But my diet was so bad that I ended up fucking up my shoulder doing military presses. And because my aunt did not particularly double check her taxes, I was ineligible to get financial aid that year, which really fucked me over financially. So yeah, I did a fantastic deed and nothing came my way, you would think. Because 2 years ago, I really got fucked over financially because I invested in a business that I should not have. I trusted people that I should not have trusted. And basically I had $67 to my name approximately about 2 years ago. Now, since that time, I've fully recovered. I've, been buying things. I have good health. I make videos on YouTube. I got a nice laptop. I have not only a decent job, but I have options for the profession that I do. And that's something that not a lot of people have these days. And I feel very fortunate because of that. So, maybe that the good deed that I did 10 years ago came 8 years later when I truly needed it, because even though my aunt, who was my caretaker at the time, did not allow me to get financial aid, at no point in time do I ever believe that she's going to let me die or go homeless or be without dinner or something. So that is really what I really want to stress to people when if you're a karma believer, because it doesn't work in the sense that you need it to work. And if you don't believe me, look at a number of different Asian countries. I'm not bashing Asia, but everything's a class system because they felt that, well, it gives you an excuse to look down on another person. You're looking down on people for something that you did not even live during the time of them doing what you thought or assume were bad deeds. And it just gives you the sense that, like, well, okay, well, I was better in a previous life, so I don't have to give a fuck about no one right now. I've got the light skin, I've got the money, fuck everyone else. And therefore, that's why that you have these cultures who have had, you know, thousands of years of existence, thousands of years of resources not actually elevate at the same speed as more faith-based cultures. Now, faith-based is not perfect in any regard, and I am going to get into that in my next video. So guys, please keep the faith. Praise God. Take care.